Hello everyone, welcome back guys. Hope you all are doing well. This is Mohammad Badruddin back again with another lab number 23, and today we are going to exploit the cross-site scripting vulnerability but to capture the password. In the previous lab, which is very similar to this lab, actually I think the lab is same, approximately everything is same. In that lab we had stored cross-site scripting vulnerability, and in this lab in the same functionality, same kind of accesses we have. And here also the same thing, a simulated user is there backend, in the backend, or admin user may be there whenever any user posts the comment. So this user check all the comments, and while this user is checking all the comments, we want to exploit that stored cross-site scripting vulnerability in such a way to exfiltrate the admin user's password or his username. Then we use these credentials to log in to the victim's account. Fine. So there is also a warning, same like as in the previous lab. To prevent the academic platform being used to attack third parties, our firewall block interaction between the labs and arbitrary external system. Fine. So to solve the lab, you must use Burp Collaborator's default public server. So some users will notice that there is an alternative solution to this lab that does not require Burp Collaborator. However, it is far less subtle than exfiltrating the credentials. This line is very important for professional ethics. As a penetration tester or ethical hacker, if you are going to engage to your target, okay, with the client, so many times you find some kind of vulnerability that discloses very critical information that is very much critical for the mission critical systems and the business organization. Fine. So you don't want that information discloses to the other parties or other employees or to the public. Fine. So in the report you may mention that by exploiting this vulnerability, I found this information. This is not intended information that a user or a normal user can see. So this is just for a proof of concept, so that the client going to understand that how severe this vulnerability could be, because in the normal ways some vulnerabilities are having a medium impact, right? But in actual scenario, in actual environment, this vulnerability could be very severe. The severity may be very high because the information disclosed because of that vulnerability. So it depends. So I'm not going into very deep to this, but I think this is very important to mention here so that you understand the clear picture of it. Fine. So I already open up the lab here. This is our lab, and I'm going to turn on the Burp proxy on my browser, so all the traffic pass through my Burp proxy. Fine. I'm just going to click the home page so that I can see whether the requests are going through the Burp proxy or not. And yes, this is the first request for the home page. Fine. So next what I'm going to do here is these are all the blogs. So if I go to this blog, you can see the post ID is 1. So if we scroll down, there is a comment functionality where a user can leave his comment. So if we can post our comment, let's say name is test, email is test@west.xor. And we can also put any website like http://cyber.sec.radar. And what we did up to now is we provide only proof of concept to see whether we can pop up the alert function or not. But this is not the actual purpose of this vulnerability. This is not the actual goal of exploiting this vulnerability to popping up a alert. But we just provide for the proof of concept that the script is working, JavaScript can be injected so that the other party can understand that this vulnerability exists. But this lab and the previous lab actually show you the exact understanding that how severe this vulnerability could be. Okay, so if I post the comment and I go back to the blog, fine, so you can see the alert is popped up, and if we scroll down you can see this is our comment, right? So this is stored XSS because these all the comments is stored somewhere in the database, and whenever someone come to this blog, these all the posts being loaded or being fetched from the database and rendered here. So whenever this post is this comment is rendered, because we put the alert function there, so every time the alert function will be executed and we have pop up here alert here, right? Fine, so this is the proof of concept. In all the previous lab, what we did, we just built the foundation. And how we build the foundation, like we see different scenarios, like maybe web application firewall filter many HTML tags, okay, maybe some events are blocked, maybe some tags are blocked, how we can test it, how we can fuzz it, okay, and if everything is blocked, maybe we can go for the custom tag. Fine, if the special characters or meta characters are encoded or escaped, how we can deal with that. All the previous labs are just to build your foundation. Fine, so now back to the business. I'm going to the burp proxy and I go to this request, which is where we post the comment. So you can see here there is post data, right? So again, you can see here the post data, the first parameter of the post data is CSRF token, post ID is 1, comment is this. Okay, I'm going to send this request to the burp repeater, go to the repeater, and I just want to show you here that if we remove this CSRF token from here, okay, and send this request again, you will see that missing parameter CSRF. That means if a user does not have CSRF token, he won't be able to post the comment. Fine, so that means this CSRF token is very, very necessary for posting the comment. So I'm going to view the page source, and in the page source from where this CSRF token is coming, so if we go to the form here where we post the comment, you can see there are two input fields, input tags are there, and the first input tag have the CSRF value, which is this. Okay, so that means any user who access this application, go to the post any blog and leaving going to post a comment, that user already assigned one CSRF token. Okay, similarly the user on the different side, the user who is checking all these comments, he also have CSRF token. Fine, so we want to put a script here so that when that user check the comment and he load a specific post, at that instant he won't be able to see that he is going to put his credential, okay, and that credential put as a post data in a request, and that request is generated from his side and posted on the comment here. Okay, in real life scenario, and if you have burp collaborator, in that scenario what is going to be happen, that when that user going to put or going to post a comment and that post data contain his username and password, that post request is going to see an out of band server. Out of band server means an attacker controlled server. So burp collaborator is your controlled server. You can generate the post request to burp collaborator URL. So whenever that post request is going to be processed, it is going to see your controlled server. Fine, in just a minute I'm going to define that once I come to that point. Okay, so for now I'm going to build my payload here. The first thing we want that the user who is checking from the other side, who is checking all these comment, I want that user, okay, to put his username password here, type his username and password, because if I put here, suppose that two input fields, like I'm going to say let's say here input and the field is going to be type, the type is going to be text, and name is equal to, let's say, username. Fine. And one more input field I'm going to put here. So input type is equal to password, and name is equal to, let's say, password. Okay, this is up to you. We put here password so that once you enter the password, it is going to show you a star, asterisk, or dots, okay, black dots, instead of showing you the actual password. Name is password. Fine. So if we put these two fields here, fine, and just post one more comment. This is going to be test2 email, let's say anything, send this back to the blog. Okay, this was the first comment, so the alert popped up, and in the second comment you can see we put here two input field. This one is for username and this one is for password. Fine. So if we send something like this to the on the comment, so the user on the different side who is going to check all these comment, he's not going to put his username or password here, because everyone knows it is not a good practice, or maybe they have some kind of awareness about the phishing and all. So no one is going to put the username and password here. But what if his browser, there is a setting of autofilled, okay, where the username and password autofilled in the fields. So if the autofilled feature is enabled for the fields, okay, so maybe once the comment is loaded, it is automatically, the browser is automatically filled these two fields with the username and password, and then this username and password, which is auto-filled by the browser, is going to be added as a post data in a request, in a post request, and that request is going to send to the attacker controlled URL or attacker controlled server, and that server, once the request is processed, attacker controlled server get a hit, and in that request he can find the username and password. Okay, but because we are not having the Burp collaborator and this lab is not allowing us to access any external or out of band server, so we will post this username and password here as a comment so that we can see the username and password. Okay, so let's see, this is the first thing. Second thing, what I'm going to do to post any comment, we need a CSRF token. So for capturing the CSRF token, because every user have different and unique CSRF token, you cannot imagine or you cannot think of the CSRF token, because this is not any defined value. This is totally random string. Okay, so how we can capture the CSRF token? So document dot get element by, let's say, tag name, and the tag name is going to be HTML tag is going to be input, and because this is the first input tag, so we call its key 0, and we can say dot get attribute, and which attribute is going to be value. Fine. Okay, no problem. I'm going to just put here value. Let's see, nothing. Why so? Let's just refresh the page again. 0 is undefined. I got the issue here. Okay, let's see, if I say here 1, there is nothing. 2, yeah, because you know what, I already put here two input fields. So if I check the page source, you will see in the previous page source, we have just one input, two input fields here. in the form, and first input field contains the CSRF token by default. Okay, but what happened here, because we put here in the comment 2 more input fields, so maybe if I search here input, so you can see this is one input field and this is another input field that we put. So this one has 0, this one has 1, and this one is 2. So that's why once you put here 2, the CSRF is popped up. But let's see, I'm going back, let's go to home and just load the first post here. So first post does not have any input field except this one. So here we have most probably just 2 input fields, these 2. Okay, so the key value of this input field is 0 and this one is 1. We need 0. So my purpose here is to just make sure that everything you understand. Okay, so you see now that we can fetch get attribute by tag name. Okay, input, then the ID of that. So you can see the whole input tag is here, but we don't want everything. We just want the attribute which is value, right? Fine. So this way we get the CSRF token. There is another way. So we have different way to capture this value. Let's say document dot get element by name, just by name, and instead of tag, because we search here with the tag, but here we search by the name. So the name is CSRF 0. So you can see the name is CSRF, but it loads the complete tag. And what we need just value of the CSRF. So we can say here value. Fine. So we have value here. So whatever way you want, you can go for it. So I'm going with this. Okay. So this is going to be the value. Let's say CSRF is equal to this. So we define here one variable, and inside this variable we load the value of the CSRF token. Fine. Second thing, we need username. We hope that the other side user who is checking the comments, he enable the auto filled feature enable. So these input fields will be auto filled by the browser. So we need to define the username. So here it will put the username. Now from these fields we are going to capture the username and put it in a variable. So variable is equal to username, and username I'm going to say document dot get element by name, same like this. Everything is going to be same like this. So paste it here. Here instead of CSRF I'm going to say username, because we are getting that value, getting element by the name, and the name is username. So username 0 and its value. Okay. Same thing we do for the password also. So copy that, paste it here. Instead of username, password, and here also password. Okay. So now we have CSRF token, we have username, we have password. Okay. Fine. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to create a form data. Let's say where and form data is equal to new form data. Okay. So with this we need to just append the data and defining post parameters, post data parameters. Like we can do it like form data dot append. Okay, and within append we define what we need. So the first thing we need CSRF. Okay, first we need CSRF. So CSRF and its value, and its value we put here in a variable. So you can name this variable as you want. So CSRF, fine. This is the first thing. Now the second thing is going to be form data dot append, and next thing you want is the post ID, because if you see here, this is the post ID. Okay, so post ID, and the post ID is going to be let's say 4 or 7 or whatever. You need to check it here in which post you want to do this. Here we do not put any comment, so this is the fresh post comment and its ID is 7. Okay, so let's say it's 7. Next thing we need is form data dot append, and this time what we need comment, then name, then email. So let's I'm going to copy this and paste it few more time here. Okay, so now here we have comment, and then we have name, we have email ID and website. Okay, and its value we are going to put it here. So in the comment we want to post that username and password, right? So here we have username and password as the variable, so we are going to define it in the template string or string literal. We also saw these two backticks in a previous lab, where I already explained that if you see any string enclosed by these two backticks, that means this string belongs to the template string or string literals. Okay, these are string literals. So here what I'm going to define, we define username comma password. Okay, name, so name anything we want, we can say cybersec radar. Okay, because this is a string, so we need to enclose it in the single quotes. Email, what we need to do, let's say cyber@sec.radar. Okay, website if you want, okay, if you don't want, no problem, just enclose it with single quotes or double quotes. Next thing, so the data is complete now. Okay, now we need to just create a post request, and we need to put the form data in that request. Fine. So for that, for creating the post request, we are going to use fetch function, and okay, before going to that fetch function, you might have seen XML HTTP request. So this fetch is a more advanced replacement of XML HTTP request. So this is used to just create the request which actually support or integrated with new or modern browser features. Fine. So let's go. The first thing what I need to define here is the URL. I want to copy this URL because this URL is for posting the comment, right? So come on, back here and paste that comment. Fine. Then we need to define the headers, like let's say method of the request. So the method of the request is post request. Fine. Let's say mode. So mode is going to be no course. Course is cross origin resource sharing. The last thing we are going to define is the body of this request, because this is the post request. So this post request must have a body, and in the body it is going to have this form data. Okay, so we need to put it here. That's it. That seems okay. Fine. We built approximately everything. Now we just need to give it a structure or a bit automation, because right now everything is okay. This section is okay, fine, but because we need to take the username and password from these fields, and these fields must be auto-filled. Okay, so we need to create one function, and here in the password we need to define one more attribute, let's say on change. So because by default these fields contain no data, but because of auto-filled feature, once these fields are automatically filled, so that means on change event we need to use. So once on change occurs, it is going to call a function, let's say call me, and this call me function should be defined here. So here what I'm gonna do is we need to first enclose it within the script. So script, and here we need to close this script tag. So okay, and within this script I'm going to define this call me function. So let's say function, and the function name is call me. Okay, and within this function I'm going to enclose everything here. Okay, so when these two fields popped up and automatically filled, and especially this field, this on change event is going to call this call me function, and the call me function is defined here, that contains these all the things. Okay, so I think everything is ready. I'm going to copy this back here, and this time I'm just going to paste that here. Now name is anything, email you can put anything, website no need, or if you want you can put it, but in real scenario actually you need to check every field. Okay, so let's go do this post comment, and hopefully we are going to get the credentials. So back to the blog, and let's see, and yeah, you can see here that username and password is there, and before you see that we do not have this one. Okay, so we post this, and we post this comment before, and this comment contains these two fields, right? So, and once that user on the different side who is checking all these comment, when he loads the same page, he get this same comment loaded, and once it loads, these two fields appears, and because of auto filled functionality, browser filled these two fields with the username and password, and that username and password is going to be filled in this data. Also, when this comment is loaded, okay, on the different side user, it is also going to load the capture the CSRF token of that user on the different side, and also the username and password. Okay, because once it is auto-filled, these fields contain username and password, and that is going to be captured by this. Okay, then all this information is going to be filled in the form data with other data like post ID, comments, and in the comment we put here we put these username and password, and then the name and email and everything. So you see, once we post this comment, we post this comment as the name anything, but once that user load this page, that user does not know that this script is going to be executed in the backend, and he posted this comment, and he does not know that he is posting this comment. Fine, so that's it. If you do this out of band, so in out of band, this information you will find on your server, your controlled server, because instead of this URL, you are going to post your controlled server URL. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to copy this password, go to my account, and here let's say the username is administrator, and the password is that what we copy before. Now log in, and as you can see, we are logged in as administrator. So you can see how severe this XSS could be. So that's it for this video. Hope you understand, hope you like the content. If you like the content, please like, subscribe and share, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.